Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to our talk at the Pavilion here at the K2016 in Düsseldorf. Our today's topic of all of our program is the automotive industry, and of course we are discussing about Industry 4.0, working for the automotive industry. First of all, I would like to introduce to you our guests, our talking guests here on stage, starting with my co-presenter, Thorsten Kühlmann of VDMA. Welcome.
Hello.
Then we have Dr. Hans-Ulrich Golz. Welcome. He is a member of the Krauss-Maffei Managing Board, President of the Injection Molding Machinery segment of Krauss-Maffei Group.
Welcome.
Welcome also to Dr. Peter Neumann, CEO of the Engel Holding. And last but not least, welcome to you as well, Dr. Stefan Thomas, Head of Digitization of Rehau.
Hello.
So we will talk about the automotive industry, without a doubt, one of the most important customer groups of the plastics industry, if not the most important. Of course, Industry 4.0 is something the companies or the industry is discussing all the time between OEMs, their suppliers, and of course with the machine manufacturers. Dr. Thomas, what is the day-by-day business topic when you talk to your customers about Industry 4.0?
Actually, I would say it started pretty much in the beginning when we talked about operational efficiency. This was the first topic. Industry 4.0 is a driver for operational efficiency. But now the trends we see in the automotive industry, they are pretty much concerned with designs, with new designs, lots of car models. Then e-mobility, a next factor which comes in. So I would say, it's complex to handle these many designs and variants you see at the moment. And on the other hand, you have big uncertainties as well. What will happen? When will the e-mobility really be at the edge where a lot of different models will come in? So flexibility is more the topic of today when we talk about Industry 4.0. How can we handle this variety, this uncertainty through flexibility? Yeah?
We'll come back to this point later on. Dr. Neumann, automotive industry, I guess for you at Engel, is one of your important customer groups. What are the demands that you're hearing when you're talking to them about future technologies of innovation programs?
Yeah, the automotive industry is for sure the driver in all the technologies we see in plastic, and the requirements there are how can you control the high complexity what we need for this. How can you control it? How can you support your customer, the molders, that they can handle all these things under good performance, good quality, high efficiency, and this. So this means this high complexity must be controlled anyway, and we have to develop things that we bring down, let's say, the critical mass in complexity to that human beings still can live with it.
Mm-hmm. Dr. Golz, could we say that if you want to supply the automotive industry, Industry 4.0 is a must? Is it a prerequisite?
Absolutely. It's a kind of differentiation as well for our customers, how efficient they can produce, how flexible they can produce. And the traceability as well will come much more into their focus. Yes, what happens in the future if they have a defect in the part? Yes, and as a manufacturer, you have to show the customer it's not on me. It was not in our responsibility. Otherwise, he can get a lot of cost. So this will drive our business for sure and has a high importance.
Dr. Thomas, if we talk about your smart factory, this is nothing which has just happened by night. What are the steps you have taken to come closer to a smart factory?
Yeah, I would say if you say we talk about our smart factory, it's a thing that's underway. I wouldn't say we haven't developed the complete smart factory up to now, but what we see is, on the one hand, we had a very pragmatic approach. We said, let's check out different technologies, use them, evaluate them also from technology providers like Engel and Krauss-Maffei, of course, evaluate them and see what you can get out of them in terms of efficiency and flexibility. what we see, what's more important is also that you have like a strategic vision, that you have a vision, how would the plant of the future, how should it look like? What are the demands from our customers? How is the trend in the automotive industry? How do we compete against our competitors? And what does this mean then for example, manufacturing, for logistics, for plant design, for all these aspects to really come to this, I would say, more flexibility that we want to achieve at the end.
What role does a lean factory play in that context?
Lean is an initiative we started years ago already, and I would say it's the initiative in our company, and we see it as a close link. Lean and Industry 4.0, it's not like two worlds that are just aside, but we from our approach, we say lean helps us to reduce the complexity in the plant, but then to cope with this remaining complexity, therefore we use Industry 4.0 technology, so it goes hand in hand from our side.
When we're looking back 3 years at the last K we had here in Düsseldorf, there were some companies taking Industry 4.0 into their account and talking about it slightly, but actually it wasn't an overall topic all over the exhibition. This year, only 3 years later, this has completely changed. So has the industry had such kind of a paradigm change ever before, like now, in these only 3 years?
I wouldn't say. Industry 4.0 is coming out from the US to us, yes? I wouldn't say that we didn't work in that. Intelligent machines is an area we are working since years, and we launched the first products 2 years ago in that direction, yes, before Industry 4.0 was on the table like that. If you look to interactive services, remote control or remote service, yes, we are offering since years, yes. So we are working on that direction, but we didn't have such a headline we do have now, and maybe it wasn't in that attention at our customer side like we have it today.
Dr. Neumann, many people say this is the fourth industrial revolution. Do you agree? For example, for the automotive industry, is this the revolution?
I think Industry 4.0 is a good label at first, and I think, as Mr. Gott said before, we are already doing it for many years. And this is not a big bang that you say it's now Industry 4.0. It's many steps which are going always in one direction. This is the digitalization of all the equipments and periphericals and. If we look back, and we just discussed it internally, 1986, we have exhibited a full automated transportation system with automatic mode change, with loading all data there. So you see, it's something which maybe there at that time was too early because the complexity was not under control, and it was not really ready for the industry. Today, with all the new technologies we have, I think we can realize those things. Okay. So I would not say it's a revolution, it's just a move in this direction.
I would like to dig a little bit deeper with you, because when we're wondering about the K this year, nearly everybody is talking about Industry 4.0, and they're showing the positive side, the advantages of this technology. But let's talk open. There is also a backside on it, right? Because if we look into the automotive industry, the suppliers are sometimes suffering from a very harsh business attitude of their customers, of the OEMs. Transparency of cost details is an issue. Will that be worse in the future? That might be the question of some of the automotive suppliers. Will Industry 4.0 open more doors eventually, Dr. Goltz?
It may be. At the one side there are opportunities, at the other side there are risks. If you look to the opportunities, we are highly interested in getting data from our machines out of the production to learn much more about the behavior of our machines, yes? To see if a part is failing in the machines, are there signals in the machines, so I can predict it before, and then take it back program intelligent predictive maintenance software, for instance. So there would be a high use to get the data back. And at the one side, we see that the customers, they don't want to give us the access to the data of our machines. At the other side, for sure, there are risks that the customers might request for data we don't like to give them. Yes, but this is a daily discussion we have. Yes, we have a lot of requests from customers. They request something, and it's our decision as a company what we want to do and not. That's clear.
Dr. Thomas, is that only a bright future, or is there a risk included?
I mean, there's always a risk, but that's why we are in business, to take risks as well, it's clear. But if you think, I mean, my biggest statement today is always flexibility is the topic. And if you want to achieve flexibility, it's clear that you also have to be open on that. You have to have a transparent supply chain at the end, and people have to share information and data. And we see this also as an advantage for us at the end. Yeah.
Dr. Neumann, how important do you regard data security, and what are you undertaking in this field?
I think there's still a very, very critical point of data security, also in the legislations. Each country has their own legislation on that, and there we sometimes I think we even don't know which risk we are in with such transfers of data and so on. So that's, I think, still an issue where we as machine builder, let's say, sometimes have the blue eyes to go in this. We say, okay, we do this, we make a good solution on that, but if something happens with the data, who is then responsible for that? And so I think that has to be discussed very carefully, and I would say, especially in the OEMs, there's very strict restrictions very often, which then are, let's say, even so strong that you can even not do something, and you cannot implement systems because their IT security, procurement, and whatever is behind it, they say no. In this way, we cannot open our doors for it.
On the other side, this new technology trend gives the suppliers an additional asset. They are becoming more some kind of interchanging partners of data, of sensoring, of a networking within the factory. Doesn't that make the supplier even stronger in the future?
That's what we see actually as the biggest opportunity, to manage the complete data of a supply chain, for example, and to provide this data, of course, at the end to the OEM. That's what we see as the biggest chance. Yeah.
Let's talk about quality. The automotive industry is extremely eager to increase quality levels, to have it even improved. How can Industry 4.0 contribute to the automotive industry aims of quality improvement?
Very simple example. We talk about intelligent machines. Intelligent machines means the machines has to analyze itself the process and to control the process at the end. At the end, we get much more stable processes. That is what we are doing with APC Plus at that time. We are selling quite successfully because the process reliability increased a lot. Another thing is traceability, what I mentioned at the beginning, yes? So even because the OEMs are making pressure to the tier ones, yes, I want to be sure if I assemble a part in my car, for instance, yes, maybe at the airbag housing, something like that, a security part, yes, I want to make sure that this part is all right, yes? And that should be documented at the end, yes? And with Industry 4.0, we can do it. We are showing it as well with the traceability, that we print a QR code on the part, and even in 3 or in 5 or in 10 years, you can see all the process data from the production of exactly this part. So it's well documented. So there are a lot of, I would say, good sides as well in this direction.
We are on K-Show, and of course it's all about look and feel. Dr. Neumann, tell us, what is your example for Industry 4.0 here on K-Show? Maybe for the automotive industry.
Yeah, really, that's again what I want to say. It's Industry 4.0 is a label for many things. Yes. And we see it that we offer to the market individual steps and technologies which in Zoom will lead to higher flexibility, better control, and so on. But each individual step has his own value and should be able to implement it at the customer so that he can see the benefits. We should stay a little bit, I would say, floor and not only in the clouds with Industry 4.0. And that's, I think, a very important part for, especially for our industry, where we really are producers and we are servicing producers again. And it's not only software, it's really hardware we all have to do daily. And so, for example, we have developed a system where you can measure your screw wear, even that you have not to interrupt your production. You can do it from outside. So this is something where you can do better quality control, where you have increased of your productivity. You have not to stop your machine to check this. So that's a practical issue. Or IQ weight control, where in the process you have a better stability in your process. And that's all little, I would say, steps together. They are then the whole 4.0, but each individual is I would say, a normal feature again, which we develop over years and years already.
When talking about automotive processes, we have to talk about cost structures, not only of the suppliers, but also of the machine suppliers. How could Industry 4.0 have impact on profitability of your processes?
There are different directions. First, we can use it in our own production, not only in our products. Yes, so we can make our production more efficient. Yes, make our production more flexible as well. This is demand we see as in the market. At the other side, I know the discussion are the different models to business models based on Industry 4.0. So up to now, I see there is a lot of discussion, but I don't see real for our business there is a big effect. Maybe it will change in the future, but it's small things. I think in our machines, we need a differentiation against competitors even coming from low-cost countries. Yes, they are, let's say, growing quite fast. Yes, and we are more on in the high level of the market. We need a differentiation in the market. The use of our products must have a benefit for our customers. This is very important. It's not only a machine, it's much more. And this is driving us to develop more in this direction at the end.
At Rehau, is it the same? Is it already a profit driver?
Yeah, definitely, I would say so, yeah. As I said in the beginning, we started seeing Industry 4.0 just to improve our operational efficiency. So we used it in the machines, for example. And that's where we see at the K-Show, for example, lots of different approaches from different machine suppliers to get more efficiency out of it. What we see in the next step is really to look at the complete plant. And there we see still some lacks, also lacks in terms of technology, in terms of interface design, for example, and so on. So there I would say we still have lots to do, but not only Rehau as a part producer, but also we all together in the complete industry. Yeah?
Okay. Now, if we look at the whole system from the customer side, the customer always wants to have the choice. That's competition, but that's good competition. The customer wants to have a choice between machine A, B, C. Now, what role does standardization play in this regard, and what's in place right now?
I think especially in this segment where we are not having any advantage in our competition, but it is, let's say, the comfort for the customer. There we have to look for standardization, and I think Euromap, the organization for injection molding machines or plastic machinery has done already big efforts on that. And if you see now this open interface, this will help us to integrate many of other peripheral equipments and things where we normally would have individual interfaces, and this helps really the customer to do it for a cross-muffin machine, the same as for an angle machine or for another machine. And I think this doesn't make any differentiation in our machines, and there's no advantage for one or each other, but it helps the customer really to integrate things in the system.
Now yes, Euromap is the European Association for Plastics and Rubber Machines. Does this standard only apply for European machines, or is this a global standard which everyone can join in?
At the end, the market will decide about it, yes. If it's a very good standard, and if there is maybe the majority of the machine builder, they will accept the standard. The majority of the peripheral equipment builder will accept the standard. It can be a worldwide standard. But we know as well in China there are some activities to create own standards, and this is something we should discuss and we should talk with them. Not that we are only creating our standard and forget other machine builders. I think our customers for sure would appreciate if it would be a global standard, yes? Okay. And we as well would appreciate, because it's not only that we have a standardized interface to our competitor machines or to MES systems from our customers. As well, we would have it to all the peripheral equipment manufacturers. So that can save a lot of work we don't have to do anymore, makes our life much more simple. So we really would appreciate that.
Okay, so that's quite understandable. To have a global standard makes life easier for everyone. But does this also mean that Industry 4.0 is not only a global issue, but is, you know, the approach towards 4.0 is almost the same, never mind whether you're in Europe, USA and China?
I mean, I think here also with this globalization means that standards become worldwide, and therefore everybody who really is able to keep up in the technology will join these technologies and will have then the same opportunity. I think this is a general trend, and we have no borders anymore, especially in Europe, but we will also have not borders maybe to other regions, and we should also not have borders in technologies. Okay. This is, I think, a trend of our time, and it's necessary.
I would like to talk about the people. The people in this industry, in the automotive industry, it is one of the main employers worldwide. And the question is, maybe a critical question is, how does Industry 4.0 influence on that? Will working places be less in the future? How will the kind of work and the skills that workers in production, for example, need to handle the new machines, how will that change? And will that maybe have influence on where your innovative machines can operate? Will that have an impact on the working world, Dr. Goltz?
At the one side, for sure it will have an impact. It's a question of qualification of the operators at the end, qualification of the engineers we need, yes, for as well for us, yes. We need different qualification of engineers in our development departments, because it's not only developing machinery, it's developing software more and more, yes. At the other side, maybe there are less working places in the future based on the technology. This is, in the meantime, a quite old discussion as well we had with automation. If we look to Germany or Austria, it's quite similar. I think despite of a lot of automation we did in the countries, still we have a lot of employees or employed people. So it didn't happen, was what was predicted from critical people at that time. So we should take it open, looking forward into the future, and at the end, if we are successful as a company, the same as countries, yes, we will have a good future, and we should go proactive into the future and not only reacting. That would be the wrong way.
Dr. Neumann, I've seen that on your displays, on your panels, where the machines can be operated, and they have changed quite a lot in the last, let's say, 10 years. While you had to have a really skilled worker to handle your machines 10 years ago, now the machine itself is explaining the next process steps. You even can avoid failures in the manipulating of the machine. That opens the door to a complete new world of workers who can operate such machines, right?
Yeah, the general request of our customer, which are operating also worldwide and have sometimes high-end technologies in regions where they don't get the well-skilled workers, they would like to have a machine which, let's say, handles themselves and operates, let's say, automatically, correcting failures and so on. The vision would be really a self-optimizing machine to have. We have a long way to go, but this is a goal. We have to create software supports for the machine and not for the operator, because the operator in the end should not have any more this function which he has today. He should not change anything on the machine. He changed the mold, or he has to control that material is there, whatever. But the process itself, that would be the ideal situation, that the machine itself can optimize it and correct failures.
Industry 5.0.
Yes, yes.
Dr. Thomas, if you look ahead, let's say 5 years from now on, what is your demand or your wish, your vision of the factory? What should be done?
I would say, first of all, I would wish that we would have like a plug-and-play interface where you get a machine, you plug it in, and it works. Yeah, this would be first of all, and it works under Industry 4.0 completely in the network, to say so. This would be the first wish. Afterwards, I mean, what I see is also from time to time with concerns that you have lots of different MES systems, lots of different cloud systems. I mean, in the former times, we had people that did automation and we had people that did IT. Now these two worlds, they merge together. And so I think we have to find solutions for that as well, to really establish a flexible routing, for example, in a plant. Yeah. So, but this would be my dream at the end, if we would have really plug-and-play machines and a very easy handling of the complete data in the factory.
And what is your dream for the next, let's say, 5 or 10 years at Krauss Maffei?
Plug and play, that's as well a dream for us too.
Sounds good, right?
If our customers would accept always our standard solution, it's much more easy to deliver a plug and play solution, but they always have extremely wishes for specialities we should create for them, and this is our business as well. And Rehau company has these wishes, other companies have other wishes, that makes our life more difficult. So if I could make a wish, is as well that our customers would sit together and link them together, and as well thinking about standardization for us as the machine builder, which would make our life much more easy, and yes, would it enable us really to deliver plug-and-play solutions.
Now it's like in a real fairy tale. We've got 3 wishes. So, Dr. Neumann, what's your wish?
My wish would, especially in this technology we discussed today, it's really that the customer are ready to open, let's say, really their doors for entering with our tools we have. Because we have to learn how we can support you as customer in the future better. And as long as there are still very hard restrictions, we even cannot come to this level where we think the technology is already able to do it. And therefore I would say really we have to break down some boundaries and some walls in our thinking, even also between machine manufacturers. We have there to bring together our forces in the same direction, and not thinking that each company with their individual solutions can have an advantage because this one is the best or this one is the best.
And you know what? The good thing is that we are in a TV show today, so we recorded all your 3 wishes, and we can check back in maybe 5 years or 6 years would be best, right here back at the K. Thank you so much. That was so exciting.
Guido, hang on, please. This is a very special talk at the Pavilion.
Okay.
Because we've got a farewell today. Not today, but on K Show. This farewell relates to a very respected personality in our industry. It's Dr. Peter Neumann. This is your last K as CEO of Engel, and truly you have been a landmark in our industry. And I had the big honor and privilege that you had been a member of our board, VDMA, for a couple of years. I want to say thank you very much. It really was a big honor to work together with you. Thank you.
What a nice ending for this little show. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being here. It was a great honor having you here. Thank you here at the TV Pavilion at the K for watching our show. And thank you for watching. If you like, we'll be back tomorrow right here at the heart of the K in the year 2016. Thank you and bye.